Good day everyone. For today's video, I will be discussing about eco-literacy and sustainable development under the 21st century literacy and skills, which is the eco-literacy. But before that, let me first introduce myself. I am Juliza Kilingin, a first-year student taking up a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Mathematics at Norso Shatun campus. Eco-literacy and sustainable development. Before we proceed to our discussion today, let me first state the objectives. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to explain the roles of eco-literacy, teachers, learners, and citizens for sustainable development. Demonstrate ways of the environment. What is eco-literacy? According to David Orr 1992, he posited that by failing to include ecological perspectives in education, students are taught that ecology is unimportant. In Perspectives of Fredjof Capra 1990, he coined the idea of ecological literacy as creating a new emphasis on the need for education to integrate understanding of the interdependence between natural processes and human ways of life. Therefore, eco-literacy is the ability to understand the natural resources. In another perspective, Capra 2003, ecological literacy is an understanding of the principles of organization that ecosystems have evolved to sustain the web of life, which is the first step road to sustainability. The second step is the move towards eco-design, of which there is a need to apply the ecological knowledge to the fundamental redesign of technologies and social institutions, to bridge the current gap between human design and ecological sustainable systems of nature. What is sustainability? Sustainability is a qualitative and quantitative condition that demonstrates the human capacity to survive over time. It is qualitative in a way that we want well-being, although it is difficult to measure. But it is also quantitative in that natural capital and ecological carrying capacity can be measured with footprinting tools. How to achieve sustainability? To achieve sustainability, we must trace the roots of our cultural assumptions and work on ecological illiteracy. Our society has created industries, processes, programs, and institutions that are destroying the ecosystem's ability to support life. This unsustainable and reckless action is a direct result of lack of ecological understanding and lack of sense of urgency. With this in mind, ecological literacy aims to replace fragmented thinking with new cognitive and social capacities necessary for the design of sustainable ways of living. Ecologically literate person and society. According to Wall 2017, an ecologically literate person can apply such understanding to the design and organization of communities and the creation of a regenerative culture. To be ecoliterate means to understand the principles of organization of ecological communities and to use those principles for creating sustainable human communities. An ecologically literate person translates this understanding into actions and demonstrate conscious efforts to minimize negative impacts of our life-sustaining systems and maximize value contribution and to collective well-being for the future generations. On the other hand, an ecologically literate society would be a sustainable society, which does not destroy the natural environment on which they depend. Thus, ecological literacy is a powerful concept as it creates a foundation for an integrated approach to environmental problems. Advocates and catalysts champion ecoliteracy as a new educational reform emerging from holism, systems thinking, sustainability, and complexity. While 2017 claimed that Nurturing ecological literacy in students of a wide range of ages has become the goal of sustainability education programs worldwide. Ways to develop eco-literacy in schools. To help educators foster socially and emotionally engaged eco-literacy, the following are identified practices in age-appropriate ways for students ranging from pre-kindergarten through adulthood and help promote the cognitive and affective abilities with the integration of emotional, social, and ecological intelligences. First is to develop empathy for all forms of life. Second, embrace sustainability as a community practice. Third is to make the invisible visible. Fourth, anticipate unintended consequences. And lastly, understand how nature sustains life. In this part, eco-literate people recognize that nature has sustained life for long that resulted to turning to nature when their teachers imbibe three crucial tenets to eco-literate living. First, eco-literate people learn from nature that all living organisms are complex and interconnected that inhabit a particular place for survival. Second, eco-literate people tend to be more aware that systems exist on various levels of scale. And lastly, eco-literate people collectively practice a way of life that fulfills the needs of the present generation while simultaneously supporting nature's inherent ability to sustain life in the future. This will end my report. I hope you learned something. Thank you and God bless you all.